welcome back to the channel, guys. This week we are doing a couple more Tyranids, or one Tyranid I should say. This time it's going to be a sort of Death World, Ice World inspired theme, and I think this is probably my favourite paint scheme so far, and I may end up doing the whole army in this paint job. Anyway, so I started off by doing the skin, and for that it's game colour bone white. Again, the technique that I'm using is the same as I always do, and that's just to sort of block out the main colours. So the flesh is going to be the white colour, so all of that skin area that you can see, just go over it all. Then for the carapace, I'm using game colour magic blue, and this came out of the pot. It's quite liquidy. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be or whether I've just got sort of a bit of a duff bottle, but did the job. So I then went over all of the carapace areas in the blue and then just leave that to dry. Then the tongue and the joints I do using yellow, and that's from System 3. It's just a craft paint. It's not really a brand specific. Obviously System 3 is brand, but it's not a main hobby paint. It's literally just something that I found in a store, and I needed some yellow, so that's what I've been using. Considering the fact that it's not probably designed for miniature painting, it actually does a pretty reasonable job. Just got to be a little bit more careful with it, but does the job that it's required to do. So just take your time going across all the joints, and yeah, the yellow works well. Then the claws and hooks using System 3 Crimson Red. So again, I brought this at the same time, and it does the job pretty nicely. So all of the hooks, spikes, all of them in the red. I find that these colours, as you work them, as we put the washes on, they really do contrast quite nicely with each other. I also use that in the sort of the mouth area for the gums. Then the wash that I use, 2 parts brown to 1 part black. Mix it with water and a little bit of flow improver, and then just slap it all over the miniature. Once that's dry, then we go back and highlight the skin, and we use bone white from game colour for that. And the technique is literally just picking out the highlighted areas. Yeah, we've already put the wash on, so leave the recesses and the crevices to themselves, and just pick out the areas that look like the natural light would pick them off. I find using a slightly damp brush here does help, and then that way it just helps me to sort of get the paint on, but it's not quite such a stark, solid sort of edge highlight that we're going for. With this, we're trying to just make it so it's a general highlight, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I found it just takes time, and it doesn't actually take that long to do the whole thing. A couple of minutes and the highlighting is done. So yeah, as I said, it doesn't take too long to get the highlighting finished, but just take time, don't rush it. So next we go back to the yellow areas, so that's the yellow from System 3, and so we're going to do the tongue, the edges of the talons, just make them look really alien. So just, yeah, highlight along the sharp edges. And then I just kind of blended it away from those edges into the body itself, and they kind of look a little bit veiny, I guess you could say. And then we move on to highlighting the carapace, and we're going to use game colour Ice Blue. So go along the sharp edges, and then once you've done the sharp edges, it's then using the sort of feathering effect to go from the edge back into the body. I just went for the sort of the dark wash and then 1 level of highlight. although you could quite easily do another layer on top of that and get even lighter, but I didn't really see the need. Then for the base, because it's an ice world, we've just gone with a nice white rim around the edge, and then I painted the upper base, I guess you'd say, sort of a ice blue, tipped it out a little bit with a bit of white, and then yeah, gave it a bit of fake snow. But overall, I am pretty happy with the way these guys turned out. I like the contrast between the red, orange, the yellow, orange, red, and then the white and blue. So yeah, really happy, and I may be ending up doing an Ice World Tyranid army. Anyway, please let me know what you think below. Leave some likes, some comments, and some suggestions, and I'll see you next time.